Alright everybody, so I'm going to make some picadillo, which is potatoes and ground beef. The potatoes, you cube them up. I was trying to get myself in this shot, but the lighting just was not working out. I don't know what was going on. Anyways, so usually what I do when I'm going to make a meal, I do kind of like a setup and, the prep work and that. Or actually set up first. Like I'll put on some music, or if the cubbies or the socks are playing, I'll turn on the radio. So right now I'm listening to some, golden era of big band swing on the YouTube. It's a playlist. But yeah, and then I set up my ingredients. Also, I make sure my space is clean. Things like that. Okay, so what do I have for ingredients? I don't have a set recipe for the picadillo. I kind of just go with the flow, whatever I have on hand. Like, as you can see here, I don't have that much potato. I just have 3 small potatoes left, so I wanted to use those up. So I'm just going to use a small onion, and I'll dice that up. My ground beef, I like using soy sauce, so I do. I think it has a lot of flavor, and this one's light. I try to go like for a sodium free kind of, or at least less sodium. I think I'll add a little bit of vinagre. This stuff is strong, so I'll definitely use like maybe a teaspoon of it and let it cook out, the acidity. I might use a little bit of tomato. I like this. It's some kind of international brand. I'm not sure, maybe it's Arabic. But I like that it comes in this jar. Like the value of it is great. So I just spoon out what I need from there. And then for seasonings, that varies. But I'm going to always put, like as a flavoring, garlic. I'm out of my fresh garlic, so I'll use this powdered one. I'm going to try this one. I don't know if you can see it. But it has a whole bunch of stuff going on. So let me read it off. It's Arabian Gulf spice mix. It says Baharat. It has, let me list this off, ground dried limes, black pepper, cumin, coriander, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, nutmeg, and cardamom. Also paprika and curry powder. So yeah, see, it has a lot going on. But I don't remember ever using this in my picadillo, so I want to try it. And then I may use a leaf from here. What are these? The bay leaves, I think. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and do my prep work now, which is like peel the potatoes, cube them, dice the onion. And then what else also? Oh, sometimes people, once they cube their potatoes, they leave them in some cold water. Sometimes I do that also. I think they come out more firm after the cooking. They tend to hold their shape. But I don't think I'll do that. I kind of like them a little mushy, so I'll just throw them right in the pan after I cube them in that. Alright, so I'll be back. Alright, so next step, I'm going to be adding the meat. I have just ground beef from our local grocer, which is Jewel. I do usually like to go to like a carniceria or a butcher, but this time we just went, with the chain grocery, what they have there in their meat department. I have about, let me see, what is it, about half a pound, probably. Actually, no, it's like a pound and a, wait, yeah, it is about half a pound, sorry. So not that much. And then I seasoned it. I only added about a teaspoon of this Arabian because I think it's going to be pretty strong. And I put some salt and a little bit of the garlic powder. I cubed up my potatoes. They're about the same size. That way they cook evenly. But if some of them are smaller than others, and I think they'll just kind of melt down and add to the sauce. That's the way I look at it. And then in here I had heated about a tablespoon of oil and sweated out the onions a little bit. And then to that, I'll add my meat. I'll brown that. Once it's browned, then I'll add the potatoes and let that all kind of swim together a little bit. And then I'll add probably just some water. I mean, if you have like beef stock or vegetable stock, I think that would be great to add, like for the sauce. But I'm just going to add water. That's what I have. And I'll add, like the soy sauce, the vinegar, some tomato paste, and some of that bay leaf. But yeah, so I'm going to get that done, and then I'll be back. Alright, so what I got going on? I added about a tablespoon of tomato paste, couple dashes of soy sauce, couple dashes of the balsamic vinegar. So I eyeballed that. I wouldn't add much though, because me personally, I just want a little bit of, I don't like anything very bold. That's my preference. Boyfriend, however, he really does like stuff to like hit you in your face. But so I try to get like a balance between the two. So anyways, I added those flavorings, and then now I've just been mincing, I think you would say, mincing the meat, because I don't like my picadillo, the meat to be chunky. I like it to be like real small pieces. So yeah, I think you would say mince, right? But anyways, I did have the heat a little bit higher. I had it like I'd say like a medium high heat, and I just now lowered it. And so I'm gonna keep breaking this down, and like I said, like with that tomato paste and the balsamic vinegar, I'm just cooking some of the acidity out of those flavorings. And I had the diced onion in here and all the seasonings that I added to the meat. The one thing that I didn't do was add much salt. If I want to, I'll do that at the end, because usually I salt and pepper as I go, like with the onions that I sweated out a little bit in the beginning. Also to know, I did heat, I think I mentioned it, but remember to heat your oil before you add anything, because if not, whatever you add to your oil, if it's not heated, it's just gonna like sit in there, and yeah, that's not good. So you always heat your oil first before you add anything. At least that's what I've been told. And yeah, and I think that's it for right now. I'm just gonna keep, like I said, breaking this down. I'll add my potatoes, and I'll add the liquid. And usually what I do once I do that is taste the broth, and see if I need any flavorings there. I might add something, and then, but I'll report back and see. We'll see how things are going. All right. Okay, where are we now? So I am not used to my picadillo being this orangish red in color. It's really because of that Arabic seasoning mix that I added, but I'm gonna roll with it. We're gonna see how it turns out. I'm sure boyfriend will like it no matter what, and it'll be an experience for me. But anyways, what did I do? I added the potatoes, and I just let that kind of mix around with the ground beef for a little bit. And then I added my liquid. I eyeballed it. I put the liquid just to cover, and mixed that up, turned up the heat back to almost high. I mean, I want it to boil, and then I'll cover it and lower the heat so that it just simmers. What else? I also tasted the broth. I could taste no salt whatsoever, so I did add a little bit of salt. I know once the water, the liquid evaporates, the flavors will get stronger. So I do have to be careful with that, but we'll see how it goes. Also, once I bring it down to a simmer, I may or may not leave it covered. Because with my picadillo, I really do like it to be more like a stew instead of like how soupy it is right now, runny. But I think standard picadillo, that's how it is. It's not liquidy, it's not runny. It's more like a stew, like I said. So yeah, we'll go with that. But I think that's it for right now. That's where I am. Like I said, it's boiling now. So let me turn down the heat. Maybe what I'll do is just leave it like half on kind of a bit so that some of it evaporates and I'll see how it goes from there. Okay, so I've turned off the heat. I have something between like a stew and a soup here as far as consistency goes. I think once it keeps cooling off, it'll thicken a little bit. So there's that. Now, back to what I did as far as cooking method. I had it up to boiling, covered it with the lid, and then lowered the heat so that it was simmering. And I think that helps ensure that the potatoes cook all the way. And I did that for, 20 to 30 minutes. But if you can tell, if you can see like, okay, my water's evaporated, and then check it and it's good, and go with that. Everyone's oven or heating devices are different. So, but with more videos that I make, hopefully in the future, I'll be more detailed with my recipes as far as cook time and measurements and the whole thing. And this is really just kind of, throw and go that I've done here. But yeah, I did taste this and I did like it. The cinnamon is a bit much, even though when I'm using tomato, like say for spaghetti sauce, I do like to add just a bit of cinnamon. But yeah, maybe not this much, but it's still good, still enjoyable. I also have a pot of beans that I made. I don't know if you can see, just fresh whole pinto beans. So I'll have that on the side. I love those. And that'll be dinner. And boyfriend is out, still driving Uber. So he may or may not come home early just to eat. Either way, this will be here when he comes home. And what else? If you have tortillas, I love mine with corn tortillas, my picadillo with corn tortillas. But yeah, I would eat it with anything. Bread, flour tortillas. Whatever you think would go. So yeah, that is it for tonight. I wish you all well and have a good night. Thank you.